What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz, the #1 stock trading Discord with a 95% win rate for the last 2.5 years. In today's video, we're going to talk about whether or not we're on the doorsteps of a minus 19.4% drawdown in the S&P 500. Because the obvious question of this day is, if we're in the midst of our 17th midterm cycle since 1957, when the S&P 500 began, what in the world makes us think that the next few months won't be any different? All that and more coming right up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy motherfucking Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. Last trade on the Qs, 601.25. If you noticed, every time they try to take it down under 600, in comes the plunge protection team, aka the Trump administration, which is working overtime. Unlike the average stock inside of the Qs, Oracle, Salesforce cut in half, Microsoft down 30%, but the Qs can barely draw down more than 5. How long will these games continue? Something tells me that not only tomorrow at the State of the Union, but Wednesday after the close. If NVIDIA so much as whiffs at a miss, Houston, we're going to have a problem. We're going to go down and test that 580 to 540, the double top all-time high on the Qs. What was resistance last year should become support. So yes, I think we're going lower. That does not, however, mean that you hide under the fucking desk like 300 or 400 clowns who have quit the #1 stock trading Discord on the planet, which, by the way, is 93-2 since last August. Ask yourself the following question. If I'd have gotten into 93 winners with whatever you put into a trade and the average gain was 28%, how much money would you have made? 50? 100 grand? Guess how much you'd pay me for that? $5 a day. On the outside chance you're part of less than 1% that are going to click that video, that link below, and get a Discord if you don't have a small biz, premium if you do, I'll do all the work. I've been in the weeds 35 years. Half of that as a broker. From 1993 to 2007, I've made all the mistakes, including going bankrupt in 2008, so you don't have to. And in the last 2.5 years, we've made 20 times on our money. We're 93-2 since last August for almost 800% return. $5 a day is what you'll pay me to get rich. Don't fucking tell me you don't have that. So when this video is over, you click that pinned comment below and you get started at trysmallbiz.com. All right, allow me to check my cheat sheet. I don't want to have a senior moment when I'm trying to share these numbers with you. We've had 17 midterm cycles since 1957 when the S&P 500 began. The average drawdown in those 17 cycles from peak to trough is minus 19.4%. And while I did do a video about a month ago when I said the average rate of return in a midterm cycle year is 1%, that's because we normally get a wicked rally in the fourth quarter, no matter who wins. And at the moment, the betting odds are that the House is going to go Democrat by 4 or 5 seats. Anything can change. In fact, the reason why this market does not implode, in my opinion, when most stocks inside of the indices are getting crushed, is because the Trump administration, under the leadership of Scott Bessent, one of the best hedge fund guys ever to play the current role that he's in, is most likely goosing the market, especially overnight. Once again, last night, right, Bitcoin was down at 64 and small change. The Qs were down almost $10. And then 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, here comes somebody in the futures market. Who is that? I'll tell you who it is. It's in Belgium. It's called the plunge protection team. Every administration's guilty of it. It's only supposed to be used to stabilize the market in times of crisis. I think they're doing it right now. It's a mistake. Number 47, I fucking voted for you. Let the market come down. Let it bottom out in front of the summer, let's say, so that when people are going to the polls in the late summer, early fall, you've got an ascension in the crypto, equity, and housing market. But hey, the fuck do I know? I'm only 93-2 in the last 8 months. 2022 average drawdown, 24.5%. Drawdown in 2018, the second to last bear market in crypto outside of 2022, exactly the average of minus 19.4%. 2002, in a midterm cycle year, we went down 33% peak to trough. In 1974, which was right before the second major secular bull market began in the 70s, 80s, and 90s until the dot-com bubble burst in 2000, in 1974, we went down 35.9%. In other words, the market is clearly telling you it wants to go lower. If the current administration is smart, they let it come down. Let it reflect the average stock. Look at Salesforce, look at Oracle, look at Microsoft. These stocks are down 30, 40, even 50% or more, and yet the Qs are down barely 5.5% or 6%. The S&P and the Dow are within 3% of an all-time high. Who the fuck's holding this market up? Look at crypto. Crypto's been in a nuclear winter for at least 6 to 9 months. Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., cut in half and then some. It's normally leading the market, right? Risk on or off. Crypto's been saying risk off for many, many months. And yet the market, up until just recently, keeps melting to new all-time highs. That's not going to last. But it does not mean that you hide under the fucking desk like a wet noodle, a fucking cuck. Look it up if you're not familiar with the term. We've had several hundred come through our doors, and the more that quit, the hotter we got. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So if we come down another 5 to 10% in the indices, maybe even a bit more, when it comes to your retirement account, you need to be buying. In terms of where we're going to do it in the Qs, 580 is the beginning, all the way down to at least 540, which was the double top all-time high from a year and a half ago. What was resistance shall become support. And in case you haven't heard me, not only in this video, but the last 25 or 30, we are in the midst of the hottest win streak of your or my lifetime. 93 wins, only 2 losses. And yeah, we've taken on some water in the last few days, 10 to 15% down from all-time highs across the board. But we only have one stock that we're down more than 10% on. One out of 7 others that we're currently doing just motherfucking fine. And when you're up 20x in 2.5 years, when you're 93 and 2 for almost 8x in the last 8 months, something tells me that you can handle a drawdown. So in closing, don't be a motherfucking pussy. Don't be listening to the fake news or the clowns in your community that have a glass half empty mentality. This is the greatest secular bull market in human history. Flying cars and trips to fucking Mars. The Nasdaq's up 600% in the last decade. It's going to be up 600%, if not more, in the next 9 years. Every fucking dip must be bought, including the one we're in the midst of right now. So until next time, always remember that we love you, and I hope to see you join us right fucking now in the pinned comment below at trysmallbiz.com.